But time now for another of my favourite spots, what we call our Good Causes slot. It's called that because it's really about good people and good groups of people doing stuff that makes life a little better for other people out there. Now, my next guest was on the programme once before, and sadly we ran out of time. And I publicly said, we must come back. And she said, yes, I can do that, which proves, A, that I'm a man of my word, which I like to try and prove. And also it means that I and my team thought that this was a really important subject to discuss. And now, after her good friend Jackie was diagnosed with Parkinson, the Madeline Castry, the founder of Resonate, really got excited about what the prospect of it. Resonate is basically, do you want to redefine what it is, or I'm happy for me to say? It's essentially a music therapy.
Absolutely.
Which we know about, and it's been around for a long, long time. It helps kids with learning disabilities. But the really exciting thing about your sad personal experience is that for degenerative ailments like Parkinson's, this is a breakthrough.
Absolutely. And this work really came about because of my personal connection with this. So my good friend Jackie was diagnosed, and she was diagnosed comparatively quite young with Parkinson's. A lot of people think...
I was going to be very presumptuous there, and I don't know how old you are, but it's perfectly evident to me that you are not a person in their dotage. So how old is your friend?
She was diagnosed in her early 40s, which is quite young to be diagnosed with Parkinson's. But, do you know, I was shocked to realise that there is...
But have you also got evidence, I know we touched on this last time, but evidence that that music therapy, even, which we know works very, very well for young people, can equally work very, very well indeed for young people who have degenerative diseases like Parkinson's?
Absolutely. So there's lots and lots of facets of this. So the first is the powerful neurotransmitters that are released when you engage with a musical activity. So you release dopamine, you release serotonin, and it's interesting that in Parkinson's, dopamine degenerates within the brain. So that's a direct stimulant to improve the quality of life of living with that condition.
That half answers my next question, but I interrupt to then repeat the other half of it, which was going to be, how does it work? Because I know last time you were here, you were saying that there's a whole body of proper grown-up academic research that shows that it does work. And it is the impact that the music, the sound waves, the vibrations, the whole caboose show has on the brain, which clearly is where so many of these problems present themselves, whether it's learning difficulties for young children or degenerative diseases for youngish people and older people.
Absolutely. So there's lots of physiological benefits. So when you engage with singing, you really go back to the foundations of breathing. And the average person breathes 22,000 times a day. So a lot of people don't think about breathing. And in their day-to-day lives, we've got stressful lives, busy lives. We're up like this, our shoulders are up. And engaging with that breathing activity strengthens our abdominal muscles, strengthens the ability for us to reduce stress and feel better in ourselves. Then, in terms of working with people with Parkinson's and degenerative conditions, what you also have is that kind of repetitive action which takes away the spontaneity of speech.
Is it also the consumption of music, or does it have to be the performance, whether you're a singer or an instrumentalist?
So there's actually, in the music therapy realm, there's two types. There's active and receptive music therapy. So when you're actively music making, what you're doing is seeking these, physiological benefits, the joy of creating music in a group. But what you're also getting is that really, really enhanced physical benefit that when you're talking and when you're communicating, sometimes we get that barrier with people, and sometimes...
It's like doing crossword puzzles.
Well, absolutely.
Keep this whole thing going. But also, when you were giving your last answer, and also that's a lovely example of it as well, it's socialization as well, and there have been a couple of really lovely examples on television recently of using the choir format in terms of degenerative diseases and other setbacks. And it is simply the act of keeping folk together, and however they choose to do it, communicating linguistically or perhaps musically.
That's exactly it. And it's very isolating when you have a degenerative condition. And I think it's isolating in terms of some people don't want to go back to the house, some people feel that they can't be heard. I work extensively with people who've had strokes, and they sometimes have aphasia as a symptom. So they know exactly what they want to say, but they struggle articulating it. And I think one of the big stumbling blocks with this is that spontaneous rhythm of speech. So I've done things like create little music motifs that people can use, be it the Grand Old Duke of York, and by giving them that beat to say, right, you're going to say what you want to say in this da-da-da-da-da-da, so that we get that phrase, and that triggers them to be able.
Is this your full-time thing?
No, I'm a PhD candidate, so I'm just about to finish my PhD. I teach, I lecture, I'm a senior lecturer, but my main thing is making music accessible, and that's really why I wanted to start this charity and initiative.
Well, I wish you well. I'm not going to invite you back again right now, but actually, in all seriousness, you would be welcome back again, because there's so much more to the story, and I want to know about the research that you're doing and the academic pursuit as well. But for the time being, Madeleine, thank you so much. And I'm glad I said you must come back, and I'm glad that you accepted our invitation.
Thank you very much.
Such an important story. And if you want to know more about it, do look it up, Google it. It's Resonate, and it's got a brilliant website as well.